see.
You still doing your insurance?
Mm-hmm.
You just a jack of all trades, ain't you?
I'm trying. Oh, I really like helping. Hi. You said that online.
Oh,
Hi. Hey. Welcome to Heads Up Mental Clarity. I'm going to give everybody some moments to jump in the room. As you can see, my partner in crime is not here yet, so I'm going to give her a few minutes to get a chance to jump on. But today we're going to be talking about a hot topic and one that we can all relate to, whether we do it or we know somebody else that does. We're going to be talking about gossiping. So I'm going to give everybody a moment to jump on. I see we have 4 people on already. So, hey, drop it in the chat if you're on so I can know that you're there. So I can know who's chiming in. Please like and share. Like and share. Invite your friends to jump on. Let's see. Yep. Like and share. Invite your friends to hop on. Hi, Terrell. Thank you for watching. We're going to get started shortly, but I'm trying to give my counterpart, I'm trying to give her time to hop on. We're going to be talking about a really good, juicy topic. We all think gossip is juicy, but we're going to be talking about gossip and how it affects the lives of other people. So welcome. Like and share. Hey, Pam. Hey, honey. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you. Like, share, text your friends, tell them to get on. We're going to be talking about what gossip is, what's the word, and we're going to have a little bit of a surprise. You know, I'm about being a shocker to people. So in my description, it says to come and join us and learn about gossip and how to keep your mouth shut and why. So we're going to be doing that. Like and share, invite your friends, waiting for more people to kind of chime in. The more, the merrier. Okay. Yeah. If you are here and I don't see you, please make yourself known in the chat. Right. In the meantime, drop in the chat. How was your day? How was your day, Pam? What's going on? All right. We're probably going to get started a little bit without Stephanie because she's going to be another 5 to 10 minutes, but it's okay because as soon as she get in, we'll go ahead and bring her in. But I am still waiting for more people to hop on. Hey, Monique Danielle, how you doing? If you are watching, please let me know that you're watching in the chat. Please let me know. And listen, I'm going to be by myself for about 10 minutes or so. So I want some feedback. I want to see some comments in the chat. I want some responses, and I guess we could just kind of start out with Pam said my day was good. Got a lot done. Oh my gosh. I feel like I worked for 2 days. By the time I get home, I'm going to really feel like it. I had a full day. I taught a workshop today. It was amazing. It was amazing teaching the workshop and then went back to work. And then now I'm off work and we're doing this Facebook Live. Tell me a little bit of something. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I know that's right, Monique. So tell me a little bit about what you know about gossip. Talk to me, because we're going to be talking about gossip, why people do it, what it is. And hopefully, Pam said, I can't wait to figure out how to not fall into the gossip. Exactly. And you're going to be surprised at how you can shut it down in a very intellectual way. And whether or not you hurt the gossip's feeling is work that they'll have to do. What do you know about gossip? Tell me about gossip. What do you know about gossip? What is gossip, right? Anybody have any ideas? What is gossip? Do you gossip? How to not fall into gossip. Do you gossip? If you don't, have you ever? Monique said, talking about business that ain't yours. How about that? Talking about business that ain't yours. It probably start out like, girl, what's the tea? Yeah, probably start out like that. It doesn't necessarily have to. And you can ask what's the tea without it necessarily being gossip. But 9 times out of 10, that's how it starts out. What's the tea? What's going on? Trying to find out about somebody else's business that don't have anything to do with you, right? It can be very hurtful, especially when it's not true. Absolutely. It can be very hurtful. It can be very hurtful if it is true, right? It can be hurtful if it is true. And why shouldn't we? Because it's just none of your business. If it's none of your business, then you probably shouldn't be talking about it or sharing it or whatever. But I think that we all kind of can fall into it. Excuse me. Okay, that part, right? It's just kind of, and so I chose this topic because I was talking to someone who wanted to talk about gossiping and wanted to kind of pinpoint if they were engaging in gossip. Hey, Mom, thanks for joining. If they were engaging in gossip. And so that's how this topic came up. Sometimes, people might say, hey, can you talk about this? And we will. And then other times I might be talking with a client. I might be talking with a friend. And then something pops up like one of these days. And I don't know, it may be next time when I want to talk about trauma responses. Why? Because something popped up on my timeline about trauma responses. And I was like, oh, that might be good to share with people. Right. So there is no like curriculum written out of how we come up with topics. It just kind of hit us. And that's what we talk about. So let's start with what is gossip? Okay. What is gossip? And I look my information up, do my research, and we're going to talk about two types. What we're going to talk about what the Bible says about gossip too. And that doesn't mean that you have to be a fire brimstone Christian or anything like that. But I love the way it is kind of depicted and put in how it's described in this definition. So the true meaning of gossip: a person who repeats stories about other people, talk or rumors involving the personal lives of other people, right? So business that's not yours. Now, biblically, gossip is sharing information that ought not be shared. It may or may not be true. Slander is spreading false information. We need to understand that one can be gossiping and slandering at the same time. Right. But also you can be gossiping and not slandering. So the information could be true, but it's still gossip and it's still kind of none of your business. I mean, I'm just saying. Right. So that is the meaning of gossip. Right. Why do people gossip? Drop it in the chat. Tell me, why do you think people gossip? Why do people gossip? What is the reason for that? Why do people, what is so juicy about somebody else's business, right? And if we don't personally gossip, we look at, reality TV and we listen to them and we watch them gossip. So why do people gossip? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. Why do you think people gossip? Of course, I have my thoughts and my research on why people gossip. But why do you think people gossip? Remember, like, share, and invite your friends to come on into this conversation, because this is a really good conversation to talk about people gossiping. And I'm telling you, every time I say the word, for real, my spirit start resonating like, have you gossiped? Interesting conversation. Yeah. Sometimes it's just interesting conversation, or at least we think that's what it is. At least we think that's what it is. Sometimes if we dig deeper, we can find a deeper reason for why, we would be sharing other people's information or their life story. We'll find that it's more than interesting conversation. Okay. Anybody else out there? Anybody else? What else? You can chime in, Jessica. I have my friend Jessica sitting here. She's listening in on our live. Thank you for coming. You can chime in if you like. Why do people gossip? Anybody? Why do people gossip? It's interesting conversation. They think it's juicy. It also comes about by watching, like it's taught, it's taught. Just something to talk about. Yep. Following the crowd. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Following the crowd.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yep. Following the crowd. The person I was talking to about gossip, the reason that this came up, one of the things that she could relate to was that she felt like part of the crowd. She belonged. She belonged. And so and she didn't want to be the odd man out because everybody was gossiping about this person or these persons. And so she joined in. But she's young and she was smart enough though to say, but I enjoyed it. Is that okay? Like, should I be enjoying gossip about somebody else? It wasn't positive. Monique says to take the attention off of themselves, deflection. Absolutely. Absolutely. Some people do it for space fillers. Some of the things that I found or that I looked up was for space fillers, for attention. But then there was some deeper things. Fear, right? Other than belonging, intimacy, they share a bond by talking about someone, to feel superior. So if you're gossiping to feel superior, that must mean that when you're not gossiping, you feel inferior. Could that be true? Right? So to feel superior, another reason that I found was boredom. People are bored. So let me just tell you the surface things, just to talk about somebody interesting, belonging, boredom. Those things I think are surface things, and y'all know I'm a therapist, so you know I kind of go deep. But I think that some deeper things are fear, needing to belong, needing to feel a part of. I think is deeper. Envy of a person, because people do gossip because they're envious or they're jealous. Needing attention, um, angry, right? So sometimes we talk about things because we're upset about them, and then there's not gossip because I'm just kind of venting. But then I thought, wow, the venting becomes gossip. Then you're talking about that thing, but then you start talking about a whole nother thing about this person, right? Unhappiness, unhappy with self, um, intentionally bringing somebody down. And what would be the reason for that? I think that anybody that engages in anything that brings someone down has low self esteem themselves, right? And then to build yourself up. So you bring somebody else down to make you feel better, to make you feel good. So those are some reasons and some causes of gossiping. So now, based on what we've just shared, kind of check yourself, kind of check yourself in, and perhaps have you been guilty of being a gossip? Right? Right. I think that at some point, if we're honest, we probably all have, if we're honest. And we can be transparent. I know we laugh, but we can be transparent here. I think that if we're honest, that we are. And when we're talking, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this when you were younger, but how to examine your speeches. Is it true? Is it kind? And is there a purpose? What's the purpose for it? Why are you talking about what you're talking about? Why you care about her hair? Why you care about, so the trending thing now is the bonnet. I don't know if you've heard about the bonnet, but the trending thing is that Monique got online. I don't know what she said because I don't engage in all that, but I see the back and forth about the bonnet. So apparently she said something negative about women going out and wearing bonnets and things like this. And I'm not saying you cannot have an opinion, but when you start to get into an argument about what somebody else is doing, like, what's the purpose? Like, why do you care? Why do you care about what other people are doing to the point where you're in a heated exchange about somebody else, right? So it could be that. Were you going to say something, Jessica?
Well, I know in regards to the whole Monique thing, the little bit that I do know about it is that I think it was just the representation that it has on Black women. She felt like.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So my girlfriend was just saying that Monique was talking about the representation that the bonnet has on Black women, and while that is very true, Because unfortunately, no matter who we are and what we're doing, society always feels like it can dictate what the standard is of what you're doing, right? And so that may be true. Am I wearing a bonnet? No. Have I done it? Yes. Have I done it intentionally? Absolutely not. I done walked out the house, forgot I had it on my head, whatever. Um, but I don't. I think the problem is when you start to judge other people, when you make a judgment. You can have an opinion, but when you start to make a judgment. Monique said guilty as charged, and it never made me feel better about myself. Now I'm more mindful of my words. I am so glad you said that, because we're going to talk about the effect of words when, a little bit later, we're going to talk more about how your words affect people, and what you say, how they affect people. And being in my field and what I do and seeing as many people as I've seen, I I I see it all the time where somebody's words, whether they were a child or whatever the case may be, how somebody's words stuck with a person for a lifetime and are now in therapy, right? And somebody else like, oh, well, maybe they should have higher self-esteem. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. And that's like the biggest lie anybody could have ever told you, because words do hurt. And as a matter of fact, sticks and stones can heal, but it may be very difficult, more difficult to heal those negative words and things that people have said, right? And yeah. So that part. So another thing of gossiping, purpose of gossiping is like avoiding loneliness. You feel lonely, so you feel like you got to have something to talk about. You don't necessarily feel like or think that you have anything in common with who you're talking about, so you got to find something in common. So, girl, did you see her? Did you see XYZ? Hey, Fats, how you doing? He said, agree, words stay with you. Words stay with you longer mentally. Absolutely, it does. And when you say things to people, it sticks. And you don't know my journey. So how do you get to come and dump in it, right? Like, and I would say the same thing. I don't know your journey. How do I get to come and dump in your journey? I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what life is like for you. And then I'm going to come and talk about you and pull you down and bring you down. Like, no, absolutely not.
What about venting? Which, when you brought up anger,
Mm-hmm.
some of it could be you're mad at that person,
Right.
and so you could
Right.
be.
So that's what I was saying a little bit earlier. Like you start off venting, right? But then you end up gossiping. So once you've gotten it out and you start off venting, I can't believe this, because you're hurt, because that's what you're venting for. Your feelings were hurt or whatever, didn't sit right with you. But when you start going into something, now we're talking about something else about Sally. Nothing. Now this don't have nothing to do with how she hurt me or what she did, what I feel like she did to me. And now start talking about something else that's pertaining to her, that has nothing to do with the event that happened. Then so venting, you start off venting, but you can very well end up gossiping about the person, right? I think we should really choose our words wisely, like, and think about, would you want someone to talk about you in the manner that maybe some of us talk about people? Would you want to be on the receiving end of that? Absolutely not. It's mean, and sometimes it's intended to be mean. It's like, sometimes you're talking and you don't even really, because, in my description, I said, let's find out what classifies gossiping, because maybe you don't even realize that's what's happening. That's what you're doing. But there's a lot of times that it's intentional, right? And this is how we qualify it. I said what I said. That's how we qualify it. I said what I said. Right. So avoiding loneliness, entertainment at somebody else's expense. Wow. Entertainment at somebody else's expense. Just think about that. Let that resonate. Let that sink in. Would you want somebody would you want to be on the brunt end of somebody else's entertainment in your life? Right. So let that part sink in. A lot of times people are gossiping because they're hurt and they don't know how else to channel that hurt. What can we do instead of gossiping? Especially if it comes out of a place of hurt. Yeah,
Let the person know.
let them know. Like, this is how I felt when you did that. Yeah, let them know that this is how you were feeling. And I'm not saying that you don't have that person, that confidant, that you need to process and talk things through. What I am saying is recognize when it is that, and recognize when it is not that, that you're not processing and talking things through. Now you're just being mean. Now you're just gossiping. Now you just, like, why do I care if her man left? Why do I care
Right.
about that? Right? Unless I'm going somewhere to try and help her, in which case, if I were, I would not be talking about it to somebody else. I'll be just going to help her. And that's just an example that just kind of popped to mind, about gossiping, and some of the things that might be shared. Um, yeah. So gossiping is dangerous, though, like, to be really honest. Gossiping about somebody else is hurtful and is dangerous. And a lot of times, like I said, it comes from a hurtful place. And so we want the other person to hurt as much as we're hurting. And sometimes what happens is you gossiping about something because you're hurt about it. And then once you have some communication about it, the thing wasn't even what you thought it was. Now, gossiping is not good at all, but now you uh, gossip for no reason, because what you thought the thing was, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. Okay. So gossiping can lead to depression. You don't know people's lives. We need to be real careful about how we speak about someone else. We don't know somebody else's life. We don't know where that person is. We don't know what they're going through. We have to be real careful. I'm real cognizant now, like when I go out, um, even people that give you the nastiest attitude, my first thought process is, now, unless I'm in a bad way myself, because I'm still human, but my first thought process is, wow, like, I'll say something nice, because I don't know what that person went through. I don't know what the manager said to them before they started ringing me up at the cashier. I don't know what home life was like before they left home to come here. We don't know what people are going through. So sometimes you could be the person to kind of cheer up and lift that person up, instead of adding to, instead of adding, um, to their stress, right? So it leads to depression. Depression leads to suicidal ideation. I don't ever want to be on the end of, or hear, that something that I said or done could have pushed that other person over that person over the edge. So it leads to suicidal thoughts. Um, Gossiping is bullying. And like I said, sometimes it's done intentionally. Gossiping can be bullying, excluding someone, talking about somebody to make sure the other person is not in the circle. And here's my thing: I just really believe that a person can be a whole lot of things, but you don't get to tell me how they are. You don't get to tell me how they are. I get to experience how they are on my own. I don't let you tell me about them. Right. And of course, one might say, um, uh, you can learn from somebody else's experience, and that could be true, but I just don't believe that you get to tell me about that. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to be cautious if you tell me something that's true and that could be hurtful to me. All I'm saying is I'm not going to just dive into that without having investigated or have my own real, because we don't know why people do what they do, right? Fat said, real good conversation. Great topic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So you don't know what's going on with people. So you don't get to tell me about, Stephanie's not here, but I'll use her for an example. You don't get to tell me about Stephanie. I get to have my own experience. And if you tell me, that's fine. That's something I could be cautious of, but that's not going to make me dislike, or anything like that, because I need to get to learn that person for myself. This brings me back. Y'all know my conversations always go back to kids, because I love kids. Y'all see my melanin? The sun is like shining right on your girl's melanin. Anyway, back to, but it goes back to like kids in schools and things like that. I know that in schools, if a child has some behavioral issues and things like that, it passes from one grade to the next. That kid, in my experience, that kid might not stand a chance in other classrooms or in other grade levels because of the lounge and the lunchroom gossip that might happen. And I'm saying might. If this doesn't fit you as a teacher, fine, it doesn't fit you as a teacher. I'm telling you my experience in my journey from when, not my child, but I've been in the school system since I've had children. So this has been 30 plus years of experience that I have come across. And what some kids don't even stand a chance. And just because in third grade, this kid was a certain way in this classroom does not necessarily mean in fourth grade, the kid is going to be the same way. But because of the lunchroom and the cafeteria gossip, the kid doesn't stand a chance. For me, you could not tell me about the kid. You just couldn't. I had to experience that on my own. And what I also know is that if somebody's acting in a certain way, whether it's an adult or a child, there must be something else going on. I'm not saying that that I don't sometimes feel a certain way about somebody's attitude or bad behavior, not kids, not kids, adults. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we need to take a step back and say, okay, so maybe that she just gave me has nothing to do with me and everything to do with how her day is going. So we're not going to gossip about it. We don't know what a person's hurt is. We really don't. And so let's talk about, so the other things that can be created is eating disorders, anxiety. Grown people feel left out just like children do. We're just older chronologically, but we do still feel the same things that children feel when they're gossiped about or when they're left out or they're excluded. So it can cause eating disorders and anxiety. It can cause one to alienate themselves away from people because you don't know if somebody's going to talk about you or what have you. And just be careful because it's the person that'll gossip with you about that person. Oh, when you get ready to walk away, they'll gossip about you too. If you find that this is like regular, normal behavior for someone, they're doing the same for you, right? And then I can't even read my own writing here. But it also affects your reputation. It affects the person's reputation. Can you imagine gossiping about somebody because you think you know what you're talking about, and that damages that person's reputation, and then you find that what you thought you knew you didn't know and it wasn't true, right? Let's talk about words. Tell me what you know about words. Drop in the comments, what do you know about words? What do you know about words? Because I'm big on words. Even when my kids were growing up and we were in school and you would get and I'm using this because that's what's coming top of mind, and you would use language about children, even working in the school system as a school counselor. As a school counselor, I'm laughing because Stephanie's chiming in. She can't get into her email right now, but she'll be on as soon as she can. As a school counselor, you couldn't run that kid down to me. Like I just don't. You just can't do that. It's not fair because you don't know what the person is going through. Words mean a lot. So when you start talking about always, never, aggressive, blah, 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 when you start making those types of accusations, you better have some strong backup, because always to me means always. Girl, she always nasty. She always such and so. Maybe today was just a bad day. And she not always. Stephanie said, yes. Great job. Thank you. Monique said, also, don't tell me what someone said about me, because why were they comfortable enough to gossip to you? Absolutely. Girl, let me tell you what she said about you. Okay, so what you say? I need to know what you said. If you didn't, because you don't even have to bring it back to me. What you can do is say, why do you have that to say about her? I found something that I really liked that talks about how to shut down gossip. I can find it now. But the way to say it, to curb that is that, well, is that a true thing to say about her? Was that nice to say about her? Is this something that we could be helping her with? Like, is it kind? Is it true? What's the purpose? Why are we talking about this? If you're not comfortable confronting it head on, change the subject. I tell you this, you change the subject enough, the person's not coming to you again. Because they're gonna already know that you don't engage in that. So they're not coming back to you anymore, right? About talking about somebody. And you can shut it down. If you're doing it because you feel like you need to be a part of and you need to belong, then you need to step back and check yourself. You really need to step back and check yourself. But you can shut that down. Does so and so know you're sharing this? Is she okay with you sharing this about her? You just heard some juicy news, and is she okay with you sharing that part of her information with everybody? Did she okay that? Monique says, I don't want to engage in this kind of conversation. Thank you, because I'm over here struggling. I do not wish to engage in this type of conversation. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully by the time we finish this, you have some words to say, right? I don't want to engage in this type of conversation. And this gossip, call it what it is. Because what's the difference between gossip and conversation? It's just that gossip is conversation about somebody's business that's not yours, and conversation is just that. Someone who likes to talk about someone else's private or personal business. That's what gossiping is. And conversation is conversation. So if somebody's gossiping to you, call it what it is. Girl, I don't think we should be gossiping. Or here we go. If you're spiritual, oh, wow. Well, maybe we should just pray for her. Immediately, the person that's gossiping is going to know, oh, well, I can't bring this kind of stuff to her. Right. Because I'm going to say something positive. Right? Right, Pam. That's straight to the point. Just say it. Girl, you gossiping right now. Right. And you could help somebody. Like, we shun away from correcting people, but you can help somebody. Uh-oh, here go my girlfriend, Stephanie. You can help somebody, maybe you can help them to grow by saying, that's not cool, you know? Okay, I got you on here. I don't know why you didn't come on. Stephanie is chiming in. I don't know, why is it blank? Why is it doing that? Okay, hold on. It's just a blank space. It's because it already started stuff, but it's just a blank space. It won't. I don't see you. Everybody sees a blank space in me. It could be the Wi-Fi. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll keep going until you come on. Um, but you could be helping the person. Oh, there you go. Hey, you could be helping the person by stopping them in their tracks, right? Because we all engage in things that we're not really thinking about at the moment. So it could be a teaching moment for the other person as well. You're on stuff, but your Wi-Fi, I think, is a little bit slower in catching up with us, right? I also want to talk about words and how words mean things, and what you speak into somebody else's life. First of all, how dare you speak death into somebody else's life with your words? When they said accountability in relationships is so important, but we're so afraid to disagree with, correct our loved ones. That's the truth. We're so afraid to disagree or correct our loved ones. There you go. We can hear and see you now.
Oh boy.
That is true. Accountability. Yes. So that is so true. We're afraid to have accountability because, again, though, if you are one that is engaged in gossiping or don't want to engage, but you stand around and watch somebody else, then you got to check why it is that you're okay with it or why it is that you can't correct it, right? Because a lot of times, again, it has a lot to do with our own self-worth and self-esteem, or we don't want to upset somebody else, so we don't correct them, we don't say anything. But it is okay to say, I really don't want to engage in that gossip.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to girl, how are we, like, I'll bring it home because that's so correct. Girl, how are we helping her? That is just not helping her.
Yeah.
Right? Why are we talking about her? What else can we do? Is it something we can do to help her?
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say too, that's an assumption that she need our help,
Mhm.
because she might not. She might just need you to shut up. That could
Mhm.
be the case, right?
Mhm.
That could just be the case.
Mhm.
But I want to get to this part about words and being careful about how you use your words
Mhm.
and how you speak your words. We
Mhm.
life and death lies in the tongue. Like, we could speak life into our own lives, or death. We got to
Mhm.
be careful about what we put on other people that come out of our mouths.
Mhm.
Chime on in, girlfriend.
Oh, please
Yeah, we gotta.
forgive me, y'all.
It's
I
okay.
didn't get no tickets, but I am.
It's okay. It's
This is
okay.
crazy. So yeah, I don't, and I was trying to listen for the most part. It was really good. I sent you a little message down there.
I got
Um,
it. I saw it. Thank you.
um. So yeah, words are powerful, and words are powerful, and we are all alchemists. So you are always creating with our language, always, always, always. So
Yes,
anything we say, we are creating it, and it's going to manifest now or later. So you got to always be mindful of that. And then
hey,
I don't know.
Christine.
Hey, Chris, I don't know if you know or mentioned it, but gossip creates a level of insecurity and
Mhm.
instability in a connection. And I
Yes.
always say, watch out, you next. So if you're in a work
Right.
environment where people are talking about people,
Well,
then you
Monique said
can, yeah,
that. Mhm.
you can rest assured that you are a topic of conversation too when you're not in the
Absolutely.
room. And that's to me though, like the one of the things about gossip that is that creates insecurity. It does for me as well. So but yeah, our words are powerful, and if you think about it,
Mhm.
you can verify or validate that your words have either given life or given death, and not to the people that you're talking about. Talk about somebody and then shut up and
Right.
watch how you feel
Yes.
after
Yes.
you say something negative, contrary to God's idea of the person.
Right.
See how you shore up when that happens. I
Mhm.
challenge you. Just
Yeah.
like see how you feel. Or when you hang up the phone from somebody that is engaging in gossip, just sit for a minute and check in. It just feels so yucky.
Yes. Mom said if someone offends you, let them know instead of gossiping about them.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, because you're not helping, and you need to ask. And when we talked about this earlier, is it true? It don't even matter, because you
It's
shouldn't
true.
be gossiping. Is it kind? What you say, what you're saying, is it kind? What's the purpose? What
Mm-hmm.
is your purpose for saying what you're saying right now about this person?
Mm-hmm. What's the
Right?
motive?
What
Mm-hmm.
is your motive behind talking
Mm-hmm.
about this person?
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
also talked about stuff where, somebody said, well, what about venting? Yeah, sometimes like we vent because we've been hurt, or we feel misused or disappointed, but
Mm-hmm.
then you start talking about something else. You go into
Yeah.
a whole other thing about that person. Now you gossiping. You're not just talking about how you felt in this situation with this person, right? You're not just processing. Now you're
Yeah,
gossiping.
because I was just gonna say we do a lot of processing, but it's always like I need you to check me.
Yes.
That's our phrase. Check
Yes.
me.
Yes.
Help
Yes.
me see how I'm seeing this.
Right. Yeah.
So if
Yes.
you are having a conversation and you are wanting to know, are you registering it right? You'll know because the conversation now will be like, what is the work that I need to do to
Exactly.
manage this connection or manage this
Yes.
situation? What's up with me in the situation?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times when we were working in jobs, we couldn't do nothing about our bosses, so it was
Right.
always like,
So how do I
oh,
cope when I go back tomorrow
right, yeah,
without hands on neck?
right,
Right.
right, 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 right.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
checking ourselves, that is so powerful anyway for us to.
absolutely. And Stephanie and I always use this, you become that which you judge.
Can
So when you're
you just say that
gossiping,
again?
you're
That should need to go
judging.
across the
You
bottom of the
become
line.
you
Understand that.
yes, you become that which you judge.
Mm-hmm.
It could definitely be, in your opinion, as wrong as two left shoes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you can state that and you can feel that, but when it becomes a judgment,
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You become that which you judge. That's deep. You got to really sit with that. You got to really
That which you judge. And another one that's old fashioned. I don't know who said it, so I'm not taking credit for it. But every time I look at you, I'm pointing at you. I got three fingers pointing at me. And
Yep,
it's not just a slogan, it's the truth. Because
it's the
what
truth.
you can see in another being is because it's in you. You
Yes.
wouldn't see it if it
If
weren't
it
in
weren't in
you.
you. Yep. And Monique said something to that effect. She said, that is deflection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah,
said,
it's always
yeah,
it's a reflection.
yeah.
It's a reflection of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not that, definitely you don't want to gossip, but I feel like spirit brings it to us
Right.
so that we can see me.
Mm-hmm. Work
So
on
if
me.
work on me. If I'm seeing that in her, where is that showing up in me? That song, Give Me a Clean Heart. That's the like, let me check myself.
Right.
So if I'm noticing that in somebody else, then let me look at myself. Even if it's a judgment.
Yeah.
I'm looking at myself. How am I judging me in that area? Where did I
Right.
show up in life like the person I'm talking about?
Right. Christine said, deflect to reflect.
That's good.
That's
Oh,
good.
she a poet over there today. Dropping some knowledge on us.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
That's
We also
good.
talked about like some of the dangers of it in people's lives, causing depression, or enhancing it, adding to it, suicidal ideation, eating disorders, things that you could contribute to somebody
Right.
else's demise
And
when you're
people
gossiping.
gossip too. It's a form of triangulation. And
Yeah.
you are managing your own personal anxiety. So
Mhm.
when you are gossiping, you are really just trying to manage your anxiety
Writing
about the
about it.
situation.
Yep.
You're feeling a little powerless. You don't know what else to do. So I need to talk about it. A lot of times, sometimes you just need to talk about it, process about it,
Right.
say that, own that.
Right.
But it's a form of triangulation. It's a form, it's
Mhm.
like, this is causing me anxiety. I cannot address it with the person that is what I imagine causing me the anxiety. So I'll go and have a conversation with Michelle so I can get this anxiety off of me and process it
Right.
because it's bothering me. And so
Mhm.
I use that to manage my anxiety as opposed to be ye anxious for no thing.
Right.
But we go and we talk about it with other people.
Right.
And so it's a form of triangulation, and
Right.
triangulation is a form of it comes with enmeshed connections where we
Right.
all are enmeshed. And so yeah.
Now, and that is, and so I don't want you guys to get that misconstrued with some people just talk about other people. Like I have not had an issue with you, Stephanie, but for some reason I just need to talk about you.
Like Beyonce, like I'm Beyonce, like I'm
Right.
Oprah or Iyanla. Okay, I got
Right. I
you.
just got to talk for no, like you've done nothing. We've had
Yeah,
no connection. We've had no
yeah,
interaction.
yeah.
And I just need to be talking about somebody. And I use the example
That's
incorrectly. Thank
good.
you, because Jessica's sitting here with me. I use the example incorrectly about Monique, the comedian, and how she made a comment, because I don't know what's going on in that arena, about someone wearing bonnets outside.
Yeah,
And then and that could have been a form of led to gossiping about women. But I'm clarifying that Monique, from what I understand now, was really just saying how we're looked upon as Black women and things like that. So it was like not trying to gossip about people, but we can find ourselves gossiping about somebody that we don't know about, that we don't have any
that's so
connection about,
true.
just
I
because
don't
we want to
remember
be a
those
part of
days,
this
but
group, just because we don't want to feel left out, just because we need some therapy or somebody to talk to process our stuff, because we deflect, we put it off on somebody else.
yeah,
Oh, she this and she's that. Or and so we talked about how some of the stuff is surface.
yes,
So we said, well, we do it because we want to belong, or we do it because we're bored, or we do it because it's
absolutely. Yeah, I
a
heard
good
that.
conversation, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the underlying issue is we do it because we're envious, we're jealous, we're insecure, we have low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that you can go into therapy and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you really do this,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, again, you're gossiping because you are projecting. You're holding that
Exactly.
energy for yourself without you being able to be a container for that space. That's the only reason
Mhm.
you can squeeze and it comes out. If it's not
Yeah.
there, it won't
It's
come
not
out.
coming out. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, if
Absolutely.
it's not there, that's why it's coming out.
And so we were talking about like how do you stop it? How do you put somebody brings gossip to you? How do you stop that? You know, I said interrupt or stop it in its tracks. Monique says, I don't want to have that type of, you know, I'm not engaging in that conversation. Right. How do you?
My favorite line is that, now that's interesting.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I mean, as a clinician, people come in our office to gossip because their problem is somebody else all the time. Right. So that's interesting.
Explain. Elaborate.
How is that impacting you? Tell me what that means for you. You.
Right.
How is this impacting you? How is this for you? What's happening for you? And it's okay to ask your friends, your husband, your cousin, anybody that. What is that for you?
Yeah. So Jessica say, then they'll be like, oh, I was just telling you. Why?
Okay.
Why?
Okay. Let's get back to the treatment plan.
Wait, Chris is hilarious. He said, I had so much to gossip to you on Sunday, but I said my sister don't want to hear my mess. But Chris, understand that when
it's your stuff,
right? If you're venting and it's your stuff, that's fine. The thing is when it starts, when it comes from that to gossip, because that's kind of like our segue sometimes into gossip. And that's our right to gossip. That's our okay to gossip because this thing happened to me, so now it's okay for me to add to that.
And let me say this: if gossip went like this, which maybe it does in some other planet somewhere. If gossip went like, isn't that amazing? That's my story. Isn't that amazing? I love that. However, most times gossip goes like, girl, that's horrible. Oh my God, can you believe it? So
girl, what's the tea?
Right. That's
what she said. What?
Exactly. That's low energy.
Yeah.
So that's why I say when you get off the phone or when you hang up or you walk away, evaluate what's pulsating through you. It don't feel good.
Yes. Monique also made a comment of, don't come back to me and like, girl, they was gossip about, because my question to you is going to be like, what did you say to stop it? Like, why are you bringing, because if somebody's gossiping about you, I'm shutting it down and I don't have to come back to you and say it and tell you that it happened. Right. So, the older people had this saying that if a dog will bring a bone, they'll take one.
Yes, that's good. And it's
a dog that'll bring a bone will take one.
That's good. Right. It's true. And ask, just ask self, always asking self, what's in this for me?
What's the purpose? Why am I talking about this right now? I love, and this is a part of venting. But I love my girlfriend Yafiel, who's not on Facebook, so she probably won't see this. But I remember back in the day being really frustrated in my relationship, and I'm like, and she would say, "Girl, leave him." Now, what else I'm gonna say? And I do just what you did. I bust up laughing. Girl, just leave him. And I just started laughing. Because what she ultimately is saying, girl, shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. And I would just crack up. Because
what I have learned is what you want is what you need to speak. Because if you don't want that experience, then you don't need to talk about it, because as you continue to talk about it, you just sowing seed and fertilizing it and massaging it, and it's just growing and growing.
Segue right into the words. Yes.
Growing and growing. So if you don't want it to manifest, you don't want to have an experience, you don't want to feel, you really think it's so horrible, stop talking about it, stop giving life to it.
Yes.
And let it dry up and die.
Yes. Absolutely. Because we're speaking words into our lives, into other people's lives. And the words you're speaking about the person you're speaking of,
Give them
you
life.
don't care about,
Mhm.
you could be giving that life to somebody in your own family, your own kids.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're speaking, those words mean a lot. We mentioned earlier that we talk about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. And that's the biggest lie that we've
Yep.
ever been told, because words hurt sometimes even worse than the physical sticks and
It
stones.
does.
It lasts longer. And so
Mhm.
we need to be very cognizant of what we say,
Mhm.
what we say. And I've I've shut it down. I was especially shut it down about a kid.
Mhm.
I don't care how horrible you think they are. I've had people walk up in the school system and say, "Can you believe that goofy acting?" Da, 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 da. I said, "I think he's a brilliant child."
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
tell you what, that person never said another negative thing
Mhm.
to me about a child.
Mhm. Mhm.
You don't know. No, because if he is this, what have you done to help him?
Yeah. And it
Right.
takes so much practice because we live in a society that is gossip. The
Hmm.
Sorry for all y'all news watchers. The news is
It's
gossip.
gossip.
It's old. It's not in the present moment.
And anytime you can pick and choose what you get to
Uh,
tell me,
it's
it's gossip.
gossip. It's gossip. So
Because
we
they're
are
only going
being
to tell you the juicy stuff.
right. Right. It's gossip. The magazines are gossip. So we are surrounded by
The
gossip.
gossip. Yeah,
And so understanding that, well, yeah, we're surrounded by gossip. So if you
we
want
are.
you want mental health, you want good mental health, you
Right.
being mindful of what you put into these amazing machines,
Hmm.
because it's, you can put premium fuel or you can put regular fuel.
Right.
Mm.
Or you can put economy fuel.
Economy fuel, yes. I don't know what's that, 82, 81,
Girl, I
whatever.
don't know.
The little
It's the
it's more
ultimate,
water
it's the
than
cheapest,
gasoline.
right? Yes, it's the cheapest of the cheapest station
Hmm.
at 82. Yes, you can.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can, but I mean, the people who are watching us on Facebook right now, like, that is not even your quality. So we
Right.
just kind of asking you just to be mindful of it, and
Hmm.
also letting you know that we get it. I get
Right.
it because we are surrounded with it. Everything is gossip. The
Right. I was
everything
reading
is
an
gossip.
article, the reality shows and all of that.
Oh,
It's
it's
gossip.
all gossip.
It's gossip.
It's all
Yes.
gossip. It's
And so
it's
we
all,
can't
and
be
it's
right
definitely not edifying. It's not
at all.
building you up. It's not
Not at all.
building up someone else. And so unless you understand, hey, this is entertainment, and I measure my dosage of what I'm taking into myself, then that's
Hmm.
fine. But you are we deal with people who have taken in so much gossip between the ages of 0 and 7 years old,
Right.
that the rest of the gossip is just over. It's like tilt, tilt, tilt. And so
Hmm.
the why we do it so we can distract from ourselves. We
Absolutely.
do this so we don't have to stand
Absolutely.
in the mirror and look at ourselves. And I say, when you find yourself gossiping, stand in front of the mirror, pick up the mirror,
Hmm.
because it's us, just a reflection of who we
It
are.
is. It
It
really
is.
is.
It's simple. It's really as simple as that. So
Hmm.
next time
And
you
if,
gossip,
and if you're gossiping just for mere conversation because you don't have anything to talk about, read a book.
yeah, talk about the last book you read. How about that?
If you just want to bring up, because sometimes we do just to be engaging. I
Mhm.
believe it's deeper than that, but just to
It's
be
always,
engaging,
yeah.
then okay, talk about the book you read. Talk
Mhm.
about self-development. Talk about personal growth.
Mhm.
Talk,
Mhm.
tell yourself, oh, okay, well, that's her journey. That's where she
It
is.
is because it's the truth.
Because it's the truth. Absolutely.
It's
Talk
the
about that.
truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. And I mean, you can take it up another notch. I'm going to keep saying this because whenever I have a gossiping moment,
It's about me.
it's always about me. So if you do have an urgency that you just got to tell it,
Yes.
make sure when you hang up the phone or get off whatever you're doing, make
Yes.
sure you stop and say, Steph, what is that for me?
Hmm. Now,
What
let
is
me
that
tell
for
you
me?
about this clarity because we always giving some clarity on heads up mental clarity. You will not be able to have another conversation. Thinking, what I'm thinking about. Am I gossiping? Yeah, you're gonna either correct it, make sure that you're not, or you're gonna say, forget them. I don't care what they said on that Facebook page. I'm talking about this. You're gonna ignore it or whatever. But you will not have another conversation. You will not, without having at least the fleeting thought of, is this gossip?
Mm-hmm.
Am I being kind? Is there a purpose behind this? Is this my business? So the description said, come join us as we talk about the topic gossip and shut your mouth. So you won't have another conversation without thinking, am I gossiping? Do I need to shut my mouth?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. What does this have to do with me? I'd rather you do that than shut your mouth.
What does it?
My God.
Well, if you shut your mouth, you open your brain and start to think and process. But the more we run our mouth, the less we have to think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes the words are just fillers for me, and then I don't have to be, and I don't have to think, and I don't have to sit in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are powerful, creative beings, people. And if we know that, then we just become so very careful.
Yeah.
As a clinician, I'm very careful about that. That to the point that I think I say that in every session. You're powerful. You're more powerful than you can even imagine.
Yeah.
Because it's true. I have a responsibility to share that, but you have a responsibility to know it.
Yes. And then what do? To whom much is given, much is required. Yeah. Once you know this information,
take it back.
You can't take it back. Sorry for all you guys that listen to us. It's not you. You don't have to worry about it. But we are here to shed some light, to give some information, to cause some ahas in our own life.
Yes. We are more powerful beyond our greatest belief. And we just have to just get clear about some stuff. And people, we don't sit around and talk about this stuff. They don't talk about it in our, groups, churches, whatever. And, it's those little small drips in a drain, that destroy a house, destroy property, destroy families, those little tiny drips of dissension, chatter. Did you hear about so that just tears apart the fabrics of a family, of a person's self-esteem? It's just those little tiny drips.
You can ruin lives.
Yeah.
You can ruin lives. And growing up, I did hear about it in the church, right? But what I didn't see a lot of, because you had people that were just like, yeah, no, don't. You didn't see a lot of checking. You didn't see a lot of,
right, stopping it.
But when you hear it enough, it's just kind of like, okay, so that's what I'm hoping that this to do for you.
Yeah,
like, am I fixing my sister's crown, or I'm trying to snatch it off her head?
Right.
Right.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Am I fixing it? I'm trying to snatch it off her head. And what would be the purpose? Enough crowns to go around. Yeah. Same thing with the guys, because contrary to popular belief, guys gossip too.
Yeah. Don't they write those news articles and journals, and we all got something to say about something. Nobody's sitting here saying that we don't. But
we just want to what we're saying is just be mindful.
Be aware
of the words. And let them resonate. Like Stephanie said, let them resonate with you. It's like, why am I saying this? What is it about me that I need to have this to say? And so I do vent. And in my venting, I'm going to make sure that it is not turning into gossip. Right? How could I better me in this situation? Yeah, absolutely. My girlfriend and I, we have a lot of check-in sessions.
Yep.
And it goes kind of like this. So let me just say this. That's kind of how it goes. And then like, okay, say it, right? Yeah. So, or in the words of Stephanie, in my humble opinion.
That's it. Because that's all it is.
So
that's all it is. That's all.
So if you're gossiping and you don't have somebody in your circle that will check you, get you somebody in your circle that, because
definitely, please.
Yes,
because that creates security.
Yes.
You have to have one somebody that is going to tell you the truth about you.
You.
You need to have
About.
more than one somebody, but if you can only get one somebody to say, we're
Right.
not doing that today.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
not do that today. Want to go for a walk or something else?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you do use whatever language that you use to turn it away, to shut it down, eventually it won't come back to you
It
anymore.
won't. It won't. And I think that subconsciously we know that, and that's why gossiping seems so tantalizing, and it's almost like a life support for us, because
Right.
if I stop engaging in this type of activity, then what? Now what?
Right. Then I got to be, and I don't know
Yeah,
what that looks
I
like.
don't know what that looks like. And so that's
Mhm.
fair. So
Yeah.
understand that that does happen, but that's the reason why it's happening, because we don't want to lose connection. But,
Right.
if you can give it up, you can have it all.
Right. And you won't necessarily, if this is you or anybody that is listening and watching this, when we talk about a thing and you learn about it, it doesn't mean that thing won't come back in your space or you won't do it again. It just
All the
means you're going to be
time.
cognizant of it so that you can now
And
recognize
that's the
it and shut it
goal.
down. Yeah.
Yes, that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the entire goal of this whole process
Yeah.
every other Tuesday,
Yes.
so that you can just have an awareness and
Mhm.
kicking up some dust for you.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you guys for chiming in. This was so
Thank
very good.
you. Mhm.
This was so, so very good. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, girlfriend.
Thank you.
Getting
Sorry
on
for
and
being
jumping
late.
in. It's okay. It's fine. And then, my husband hasn't texted me. So if y'all know him and know his number, could y'all tell him to pick me up for work? I'm ready to, fill up the office. Yeah. So thank you guys so very much.
Thank you.
We will have a really great topic the next time. We always do.
Mhm.
Again, as I was telling them before, is that sometimes they just pop in our minds, maybe sometimes the day before, and we talk about them. Sometimes we could be talking to each other or to a client or somebody, and something will come up. And
Yes.
we talk about those. But that does not mean that you can't drop us a
Yeah,
message, call us,
please.
whatever.
Yes.
We'll talk about.
Please.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right,
All right.
friend. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
guys.
Yeah.
Love you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
Okay.